Join us for lively discussion about the A-State community. Each week, we'll meet with a variety of faculty, staff, and students to discuss all things Arkansas State University. Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections.
This is A-State Connections on KASU and ASU-TV. I'm KASU Station Manager Mark Smith, sitting in for Jonathan Reeves. One of the reasons why students drop out of college is due to issues with money. The Scarlet to Black program at Arkansas State University is working to reverse that trend. Telling us more about this is Associate Professor of Finance and Director of the Scarlet to Black Financial Literacy Program, Dr. Phillip, and Melanie Ricker, a Scarlet to Black Senior Financial Wellness Intern. Welcome to A-State Connections.
Thank you for inviting us.
Now, you've been doing this financial literacy program for a while, Dr. Tu. How did this idea develop? How did you get it started?
So I came here in 2009 at the height of the financial crisis. My area of expertise was bankruptcy. And so I was all about utter failure. And so that tends to lead to looking at what causes it. And the area that I really focused on was on small businesses, which are typically mom and pop type shops. So then I started looking at more of the financial distress of individuals. And that led me to looking at one of the areas that's really under-researched and underlooked at is the financial wellness of college students. They're 18 years old, they're making these massive decisions that can impact them for the rest of their life. So that's how we started this, with me just going around talking to some of the FYE courses.
Well, now explain the name of the program, Scarlet to Black.
So Scarlet to Black, we want people to go from red to black. When you're in the red, that means you're in debt. When you're in the black, that means you're profitable. That's where the term Black Friday comes from. That's when most businesses go from being unprofitable to profitable, is on Black Friday. So that's where we use that, and we use the Scarlet to Black colors.
Well, why was there a need for a program like this? You've already talked about the problems with college students first coming to college, but just talk a little bit more about the need for a program like this.
So where we're located in the Delta region of Northeast Arkansas, and the majority of our students come from Northeast Arkansas and the Boot Hill of Missouri. And what we see in this area is we have areas that are called persistent poverty. And those are areas that have had a high level of poverty for their citizens for at least 3 decades. Some of our counties have actually had it ever since we first started measuring this in the 1920s. So we're talking now, we're looking at 10 decades of poverty, and that's where our students come from. So our goal was to go in and start helping these students out that are struggling, to make sure that we can help them find the correct financial wellness. One of our goals, and one of my goals, has always been, I want our students to be able to follow their dream, whatever that dream is. I don't want money or finances to keep them from following that dream, to be able to follow their passion and be able to achieve whatever their goals are.
All right, now Melanie, how did you hear about this program?
Well, I was in my microeconomics class during my sophomore year. Dr. Tu is my teacher. I was thinking about changing up my major. I was originally an accounting major, and I was thinking more finance. I wanted to be more of a financial advisor. He also became my academic advisor, so we started talking more. He found out some of my interests, and he told me that he was talking to FYE classes about financial wellness and financial literacy, and that he was looking to get a grant to hire some student workers so we can shift the program to more peer-led than him talking and being the only one doing everything. So fortunately, he was able to get that grant, asked me if I was interested in a job, and of course I was. This lines perfectly with what I'm interested in doing, and I've had a lot of fun since then.
Well, now you're a senior financial wellness intern. What exactly does that mean? What's your role in the program?
I do a little bit of everything. I've been here the longest. This is my 4th year in the program. Again, I was a part of the original student team, which is really cool. And so I've done everything from creating videos on financial literacy topics, coming up with these topics, making materials. We recently got a marketing coordinator, but until then, I was doing all of the marketing on our social media platforms. I also help with the assessment pieces, so I help put together surveys and then analyzing the data from that. And right now, my biggest focus is doing the communication for our program. So if students are getting a call, a text, an email, it's most likely coming from me, and even if it's not my voice, I'm the one who wrote the message. And that's been a really cool thing to get to communicate with students. I also get to do our peer-to-peer financial counseling. So if they have any questions, maybe about their finances, they just don't understand something, or they have no idea where to start, they can come talk to me and I'll help them as best I can.
Well, Dr. Tu, how many students are involved in the Scarlet program, and what exactly do they do?
So we have a group of about 12 to 15 students at any given time. And so we have different areas that we focus on. We have 2 students that really focus on, we received a grant from the Access Lex program, and with that grant, we are doing something called nudges, which is a behavioral economics technique where we give nudges to students to make smart financial decisions, either through a phone call or through a text message or through an email, to see which one is more efficient when it comes to that. So we have a couple of students doing that. We have a few students doing financial research. They're looking at things such as health literacy of our students, basic financial literacy. They're also looking at what drives some of our students to drop out, what's causing them not to be there. We have 2 people that work on our marketing. So we have really taken off this year with TikTok. We've been doing a lot of that. We've been trying to get our message out there. We understand that a lot of students aren't going to be able to focus for long periods of time just because attention spans are short. So we have focused on doing shorter videos and TikToks, putting it out there. We have some that do podcasts. And then we also have an after-school program that we're working with elementary students on to help improve their financial literacy in a fun way.
That's what I was going to ask you about next, actually. This is an educational program for students in finance and students throughout A-State and within the College of Business also, but it's also an outreach program that connects A-State to the community. So tell us about these after-school programs at the local schools.
Absolutely. So we were fortunate enough to get a grant from the Arkansas Bioscience Institute, and their focus is on improving the health of Arkansans. And so one of the areas that's really tied together is financial health and physical health. And so we wanted to try to find a way, if we were going to go in and talk to first graders through sixth graders about financial wellness, we had put them to sleep, and we understand that. So we wanted to find a fun way to do it. So what we have them all doing, they're all learning how to create and build a food truck. The difference is that their food truck, or their food cart, since they can't drive, is a healthy food cart. So they're making healthy food choices, they're learning how to shop, they're learning how to budget, and they're gonna actually, at the end of the spring semester, they will come together at their locations and they will have their food there and it'll be available for sale. We did it last year and the kids loved it. We had kids that, a lot of the students in these programs don't come from a lot of money, and so they were making $10, $12 at their food truck and thought they had won the world. And so they're beginning to understand the importance of financing as well as the healthy side of the food. So that's what we're really focusing on.
Okay. What age groups are we talking about here?
So for that, the after-school program, we are first grade through sixth graders. Okay. So we have little ones. And then during the summer, we did 2 summer camps on campus. We wanted to bring them on campus. So we did 2 week-long summer camps. The first one was for grades 1 through 3, and the second one's grades 4 through 6. We'll do it again definitely in next summer. We'll probably do a couple for the older kids and maybe look at locating one off campus somewhere in one of our surrounding communities.
Now, are you doing all the presentations yourself? How much help, Melanie, just maybe you can answer this. How much help are the students in the program providing for this?
So generally, just for our program, our students do all of the presentations, all of the coming up with the ideas, creating the materials. Dr. Tu is super helpful in guiding us, maybe, hey, let's look at this area, or checking to make sure, we're doing everything correctly. But for the most part, it's just us. We come up with the ideas, we put out the materials, we do what we think will work best. Like the reason we have a podcast was because one of us likes to listen to podcasts. We thought maybe that would be a good way to reach our students. That's why we've started a TikTok. Our students are into TikTok. We watch TikTok. Let's create a TikTok and put our information on there.
Well, tell us about your experience in working with the students in these local schools. How do the students respond? Do they seem to get it? And are you making a lasting impact, you feel like?
I'm a bit more limited on the local schools because Haley heads over our after-school program, but I have gotten to be there for their showcase at the end of the semester when they have their food carts. They're all so excited about it. They really love it. They're doing a really good job of, hey, this ingredient is healthier than this ingredient, making the products themselves, and then selling it. Hey, give me the money. Let's do good stuff. I was also able to help with the summer camps. Those are a lot of fun. And again, I really think I see a difference in the students from day one to the final day of our summer camps. They're really growing a lot. I also get to do some help with talking to the schools. So we recently had our small business leadership conference. Scarlet to Black puts that on with a student organization on campus, the Future Business Leaders of America. We're very grateful to them. Dr. Tu is also the advisor, but we get a lot of our volunteers from that group. And I got to go and talk to some of the schools more about the conference and about the competition aspect.
Okay, so you get assistance from the FBLA students as well?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. And how directly involved are you in these after-school programs?
The after-school programs, I helped with the setup part. I will help out when needed, but I've learned very quickly in this, from literally the beginning when I went and talked to schools, that when I come in and talk, I'm just the old guy talking. And whether it's a college freshman or whether it's a third grader, they would much rather have it. The college students, to them, are the cool kids. They want to see the college students. That's who they want. So when I come in, I always kind of take a step back and go in and talk with the students. But I let the college students run it. So that's how we've worked, and we've seen a much better improvement. The only time I talk to the students is we do a first-year boot camp where we have every first-year student on campus come in during their 4th week of classes. I'm in the auditorium, and I have to give the same presentation 12 times. And every first-year student hears me talk, and I've done it now for 4 years. Wow. So every student has heard me talk with that. Other than that, they don't hear me again. The rest of it, I understand students want to be leading students. And issues that I faced when I was in college is much different than the issues that they face now.
Well, we're going to take a short break. We're talking with Dr. Phillip Tu, Associate Professor of Finance at Arkansas State University and Director of the Scarlet to Black Financial Literacy Program, and Melanie Ricker, who is a Senior Financial Wellness Intern in the Scarlet to Black Program. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about the program, about how we get those college students involved in it. Might revisit some of these after-school programs, talk about how those work a little more, and we'll just get some more information about the Scarlet to Black program. But we'll take a short break, and we'll be back with more on this A-State Educational Outreach Program, the Scarlet to Black Financial Literacy Program here at Arkansas State University as part of the A-State College of Business. When we come back, we'll be right back after this break.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
Here to deliver the latest news on A-State sports, ranging from football, basketball, baseball, and more.
I'm your host, Tristan Harlan, alongside your other host, Cooper Melder.
Red Wolf Roundtable is your local sports source.
Tune in to Red Wolf Roundtable to get your fix on sports talk and news.
At Arkansas State, we want you to go. Go where learning soars, takes flight, and rockets ahead. Go for experiences, internships, and scholarships. We want you to go. Become A-State Maine. Are you ready to go? Go.astate.edu for details.
Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections.
Welcome back to A-State Connections on KASU and ASU-TV. I'm Mark Smith. Joining me today is Associate Professor of Finance and Director of the Scarlet to Black program, Dr. Phillip Chu, and Scarlet to Black Senior Financial Wellness Intern, Melanie Ricker. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
What, Dr. Chu, what kind of research has come out of the Scarlet to Black Financial Literacy program?
This part we're pretty excited about because one of the areas that I've tried to focus on with our students is the students who work for me, I want them to get the work, I want them to get the experience, but they're also all very smart students. And I wanted them to go to research and go be able to present at conferences. So we've been very fortunate that so far all of our students who have participated have been able to present at conferences. And for some of them, it's changed their career paths, like Melanie. So we've done research that is focused on looking at, what is driving our students' retention rates. We've looked at students. One of the big things we do every year that we've done for a few years now is we send out a massive survey to our first-year students. And with that, we're able to kind of get a state of affairs for our first-year students. And we're able to learn, where they are financially, where they are with their financial wellness. And we're able to see the negatives. We can see the students aren't where they're supposed to be. One of the questions that we started asking from year one is, and remember, these students answer the questions during their first through third week of school. So they're all first years. They've only been in college for at the most 3 weeks. And we asked them the question, how much student loan debt do you have? They just started college. It should be pretty fresh in their mind. And we end up with about 30 to 35% give us the answer, I don't know.
Wow.
And that's a frightening thing to think about is when we say, how much do you owe? And they don't know. We ask them, how much is tuition? I don't know. How much is your meal plan? I don't know. And so we're getting a lot of this, I don't know. And that's coupled with the fact when we talk to them either one-on-one or we used to ask this same question in our survey, we've removed it, but we used to ask them, how much are you going to make when you graduate college? And what we found was students typically overestimated their income by about $14,000. So they believe they're gonna make $14,000 more. They don't know how much they're actually making now. They don't know how much they actually owe. And so all these just ball together into, you can see the financial crisis that's coming. And so that's one of the areas that we've really looked at. This year, for instance, we added others. We added looking at how stressed are you. We found that about 9% of our students have trouble sleeping at night, worried about their finances. We find that about 14% of our students are worried that their finances are not going to last until the end of the semester. And, as you have these stresses, that's going to spill over into your academics.
Sure.
You're not going to be able to worry about that calculus exam if you are worried that you're not going to be able to eat this week. And so it all flows together. And one of the areas that research has struggled with in the past, you can tell what the faculty members' background is based on how they looked at that question. So all the economists have said it's got to be money. And all the student affairs people said, they don't have a fit. They don't have that fit. And these other groups say, this other. And so what we're trying to see and look at is say, you know what, it may be a little bit of everything. It may be all these things driving that, and that's what we focused on. So that's our big area we're looking at now. We're also looking at health literacy now. A lot of our students, a lot of people in Northeast Arkansas and the Missouri Boot Hill struggle with health literacy and health issues. So we've started looking at that and determining, a few things. Do they have the health knowledge? And then also, do they have the confidence? Do you know how to call your doctor? Do you know how to, make these decisions without getting help from someone else? And so we've looked at those areas. And that's kind of the areas that we've looked at overall. Now, the students have done smaller ones. Melanie has been very fortunate. She has submitted to multiple conferences and presented at multiple conferences to the point that she's now changed her career path based on the research she's done. So
now I was going to ask about that. Dr. Chu's talked about the change in your career path. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I originally didn't know what I wanted to do, but as I went through, I thought I wanted to be a financial advisor, more work with families on what they want to do with their life, planning for those big purchases. But doing all this research on students, I've really found that I really like working with them, and they are if you catch them when they're younger, then they're going to be set for forever. If I can hit them when they're in college, when they're trying to make those big decisions for the first time because they're fresh adults, maybe we can set them up to have more successful financial futures. So that's what I want to do. I want to stay at the university level and talk to these students about how to prepare for their financial future.
So how exactly are you planning to get more students, more college students involved in this program?
So we offer a variety of resources. We do videos, we have podcasts, we do a blog. One just went up today. We also have our monthly duck hunt, which we're trying to spread the word around campus. Okay. We have rubber ducks that we place all over campus. And if you find a duck, you can find us in the student union on that specific day, redeem the duck for a merch bag, but you're going to learn more about us. We're going to tell you about our program and about whatever topic we have for the month. So recently, the FAFSA application opened in October. That was what our talk was about. We talked to students about, hey, have you filled out the new FAFSA? If not, here's how you can do it. This is why it's important. It's very important to fill out your FAFSA. And sort of more about the different loan types, just different financial things that students may not know about, but now they will because they found a silly little duck on campus. We also have some more special ducks that give our students $50 to their student account, which is really awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
Now, you had the look on your face.
Okay.
The camera wasn't on you, but I'm going to mention this. You had the same look on your face that I did when she said the duck hunt. So this gets back to, this is a student-led program. When they first told me about this idea, I said, you know what, we'll buy the rubber ducks, that's fine. I bought 1,000 rubber ducks. They're in my office now, and we put out 25 the very first time. And my comment was, we're going to go back and pick up 25 ducks. No student's going to be looking for a duck. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard of. And again, showing Dr. Tu is wrong and the students are right. We put out TikTok videos showing where they are, and I was in the union as the videos went live, and there were people sprinting out of the union trying to find where the money ducks were hidden. I didn't know what was happening, and people were and everybody's going nuts trying to find the ducks. The TikTok videos have blown up with that. I have to say I was completely wrong. I was 100% wrong. But I had the same look you did. I was like, this is the dumbest. Who came up with ducks? But they're like, nope, this is going to work. And I went, okay, I'll trust y'all. Wow. And this is what's happened.
And that's the benefit of listening, right?
Yeah, that's another pro of getting to go to these conferences. I got to go with a couple of other students and Dr. Tu to the Higher Education Financial Wellness Alliance summit. That's what they call it. It's a fancy summit this summer, and that was really cool. And they had a bunch of different ideas, and a lot of their ideas they seemed a little bit more random, not necessarily you wouldn't associate it with a financial literacy, financial wellness program, and that's been fantastic. That's how we came up with the duck hunt, and it's been a really big success. So doing something like that has really worked out for us.
And it's helped us partner. So we're currently partnering in a research project with the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University, where we're doing a big project with them. You know, they're a much larger school. Their College of Business is probably 5,000-6,000 people. And we're working with one of their faculty members there who's a behavioral economist. And we're working on a couple of different ideas. And so these opportunities at the conferences have helped us be able to broaden our reach.
Well, now, Dr. Tu, have you presented this program to other non-academic groups and organizations?
We have. So we've been fortunate to, as I tell people, we will go talk to anybody, anywhere. Just give us an invite, we'll go. We're not choosy. We've talked to manufacturing companies here in town has asked us to come talk to their employees. We've talked to the Jonesboro Young Professional Network. We've talked to teacher conferences that are more K through 12 teachers. We've talked at the Federal Reserve in Memphis. We've talked to a couple of the civic organizations here in town. Whoever wants us, we will come talk and share our story.
And that's my next question. Hey, how do you request or book a presentation?
Email me. Okay. That's the easiest way. Email me. I will be there. If you'd prefer not to have me and prefer to have a student, I'll throw Melanie at it. She was very nice as she spoke earlier about what her career path is. Mm-hmm. She wants my job. That was her being nice. When the camera's not rolling, she's very honest. She wants my job. And it's told me that repeatedly. So.
And your email address?
Is ptew@asu-tv.edu. at astate.edu.
PTEW at astate.edu.
Absolutely.
What are your measures of, and I'll ask both of you this, what are your measures of success for this program? And because the need for a program like this is likely to be ongoing. So what are the measures of success, first of all?
That's a tough question, and that's one that we always struggle with. You know, our initial measure of success was, do people know who we are? We're trying to get our name out there, and we've learned that our name is out there. And so now getting students to start making those changes, to get them to start, you know, before probably our first year of doing the big survey, we found that about 8.5%, 9% of our students did not have a bank account. You know, we live in the largest unbanked population region in the country, and we see that our students are following in their parents, their grandparents' footsteps. And so we begin to see that number go down some. And so we're hoping as we grow this, more students take advantage of this. It's no cost to them. It takes up some time. And to be honest, usually when we have our meetings, I'll buy pizza, get free food out of the deal, just to come in and talk and learn more about this. You know, that's always been our goal, is we want students to be able to achieve their goals, and we want them to come seek help before it's absolutely needed.
All right, we're quickly running out of time, surprisingly. This has gone pretty quickly, but the need, like I said, is going to continue. The need for financial literacy and for people to learn about it is going to continue. So what are the plans for sustainability of a program like this long term?
We've been fortunate so far. Arkansas State has supported us. They have provided funding for me to be able to hire a grad student. We have sought out and received grants from multiple sources. We are currently talking with a foundation to provide a grant to us that will allow us to hire an associate director who will help out with this and increase our time that we have involved with it. And so beyond that, you know, we're always looking for that funding source. We're always looking for someone to step up and provide permanent funding.
All right, just in 10 seconds, how can they find out more about the program?
Go to astate.edu/S2B.
All right.
Easy enough.
That'll do it for this edition of A-State Connections. I want to thank my guests, Dr. Phillip Chu and Melanie Ricker. I also want to thank the Director of Creative Media Production, Galen Perkins, and his students who are behind the scenes running the show. Thanks to the engineers, Derek Herring and Clayton Holderfield, for their help, and thank you for watching. Don't forget, A-State Connections is heard every Saturday morning at 11 on 91.9 FM KASU and streaming on the KASU mobile app. So long, everybody.